Let's discuss. Hey everyone, it's Rachel back again with another video, and today I'm going to be checking out a new track from Atlvs, which is very exciting. I covered some of their releases last year on the channel. Comethazine is absolutely my favorite track from them. It was one of my favorite tracks of last year altogether. It had, I think, my number 1 or number 2 breakdown of the year, so it was a big contender for me, but really the whole EP landed for me. So I'm excited to see some more new music from them. They are very friendly people, so shout out to Atlvs for being awesome. I will link all of their social media, promotional links, all that good stuff will be in the description of this video. Other than that, I'm going to stop talking and we are going to get straight into it. Oh. 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 Way more. Comethazine energy. Not necessarily that it sounds the same, but they have a very creative approach with their singing, and I love it. Okay, I was like, will it drop? Atlvs Shadow Dancer, let's discuss. This certainly has the crunch and the aggression that I'm looking for. The intro threw me off a little bit because I was like, all right, I mean, I would assume Comethazine was probably one of, if not the most successful track that they've put out thus far. They are early on in their career, but that was a huge track. I think it was either my #1 or #2 breakdown for last year in its entirety. It is just insane to me, and that was what really made me click with them. I like their other songs a lot, but that one just held a very special place for me and just got me hooked onto the band. That breakdown does not get old to me. And while this is, I said Comethazine energy because it's still a creative, you know, way to include your singing in there. It doesn't have to adjust instrumentally to kind of match the same energy. The contrast provides something even better, I think, the way they do it here. But I do love the rest of the song as well. That's not like the only box that's being checked for me here. I think that drop in the beginning of the song that I'm talking about, the transition from the intro into that first part of the song, incredible. It kind of lets you know, like, it's kind of like a stay on your toes type of thing, because, and not just with the heaviness either. On the flip side of that, where the singing comes in this song and Comethazine, both really creative. So I'm looking forward. I hope they'll be able to do like a debut album or something, because I'd like to see the different ways they sort of utilize their sound. When it comes to their heaviness, this vocalist has a lot of the same energy that Alpha Wolf has. It has that feel to it, but the stuff they do is different enough to where it still associates for me as being Atlvs. I think kind of throwing for a loop in that intro, and then having stuff that just really packs the punch before kind of bringing that intro of the song that's lighter and where that sort of connects with the rest of the pieces, bringing that in much later in the song and not feeling the need to do that like final outro breakdown. Those to me are wins, because I think I was more so expecting it to go from that outro into another breakdown. It's becoming a little bit of like a predictable, I don't want to say predictable in a way where like if this is done in the song I'm not going to enjoy it, but when it comes to structure and stuff, that's become something I'm expecting a little bit more now, especially on something that does have the heaviness in the rest of the song. But it works really well for me, outroing the way that it does. Having all of the meat that it has prior to that certainly helps, but the singing has to be a highlight for me still. I know I wanted to be sure to mention the things like the guitar tone is one thing that really sticks out to me. The combination of sounds here is the exact combination for me, I think, is the best way to put it. So, of course, the singing being a big draw for me, but there's around the 1.5-minute mark, I believe it was, there's like some of those very low lows that just sound phenomenal to me. So not only vocal variety in the sense of, oh, there's screaming and there's singing here, but some of those on the opposite side, I guess, like the highs, the lows, and the screaming sense, those add a lot for me as well. It's just a combination, I think, of the sounds that I love the most in these subgenres kind of balled into something that works incredibly well for me. This being the next track after them releasing the EP last year, I feel is the best possible outcome, because these are all of the qualities that I really enjoyed, and it doesn't feel like, oh, it's just, you know, an attempt at another Comethazine or anything. It has things that make it feel much different than that track did to me, while still scratching some of the same itches that track that I didn't even know that I had prior to that track coming out. That was really a shock moment for me when the breakdown hit, because I've heard a lot of different things done in breakdowns. I've heard a lot of stuff, but the singing coming in the way that does with that drop there, not one of them. So that was something that definitely put them on the map for me. But in addition to that, there's a lot of other stuff which I've mentioned here. I'm not really sure I would necessarily want to see anything done differently for this track. The instrumentation that accompanies the singing I'm talking about is just beautiful, and I think that's something that drives it further, of course, not just a matter of, oh, it's the style of the singing. I think it's the emotion that's kind of, you know, that's expressed through both the vocals and the instrumentation during that part and during Comethazine. Whatever emotions those may be, I think Comethazine still kind of gives that like angry and almost eerie in the delivery of the singing there at the end of that song, while this has a much different sort of feel to me that I'll need to dig further into as I listen to the song more, but there's definitely nothing on first listen to this that I would want to see differently from them. I think as more tracks come out or they continue doing what they do, possibly, but they are on the trajectory to become like working further and further up in my listening, which I love to see. So those are my thoughts after first listen. I'm extremely happy with this. This is going to get a ton of plays from me, undoubtedly. Let me know what you thought in the comments. I think Comethazine is still going to be above this track for me, but I've listened to that song a ton of times since it dropped, and this I've only heard one time. So I'll need to do more listening to kind of evaluate that further as well, but it does have the potential to be a track that competes with something like Comethazine, which coming into this is not something that I would expect from the band or anything because of how much I enjoyed that track, and I think that sort of mindset can kind of ruin your listening experience to new songs, so I try to just tuck it away and not think about it, but this is definitely a pleasant release for me and my listening. So all that being said, the music video I used in the reaction portion of this, all the band's social media, promotional links, all of that will be in the description of this video. Make sure to go give them some love on the video, the original video on their channel if you enjoyed this. Helps with the algorithm and such, and the bands need that sort of exposure as well, of course, one of the most in what we do. So other than that, you can find my link tree in the description. That will have any link you may need related to my channel, my Patreon, Twitch, my Discord server, which is where the community is based, for my YouTube channel. All of that stuff will be in there. I do a lot of stuff on Patreon. I make mixtapes/playlists for Tier 3 that I update monthly with 20 to 25 songs per update based on what they tell me they want the playlist to be like for fans of, stuff that's within the realm that they don't enjoy, that sort of thing. And then I curate the playlist and continue to update it, find some more stuff that's not exactly common. I try to find stuff they may not have heard before, you know, stuff like that. Videos, lots of voting for all tiers for 2023 lists already. If you want to check out what I'm offering, it's all listed out in the tiers. And then Twitch is where I do all of my live streaming, my request streams on Tuesdays, some additional music related streams that are coming up for the end of the year and should carry into 2024. If you want to be notified when I go live and see what sort of stuff I'm doing, or see when I go live for requests, feel free to give that Twitch a follow. And as I mentioned, the Discord server is where the community is based for my YouTube channel. We've got a bunch of lovely people in there, music lovers in a community, music related conversation and conversation that is completely unrelated. So if you want to come check it out, that will be there as well. As always, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it.